What is up, though, Lions fans? It's your boy Motor City Don PM. We are back here once again, and you already know what it is. It is Tuesday. Nothing special about it. It's Tuesday. Shout out to everybody on LNU. Shout out to everybody joining me from the Motor City Cats podcast. And you already know what it is. When you see me in front of your TV, one thing is for certain, and three things are for sure. Number one, the Motor City Cats are indeed back at it. Number two, we came to give you stats and none of that static. And number three, perhaps the most important number of them all, number three. We want to make sure you keep your Lions news pragmatic. And you may be asking yourself, how, Don? How, Mr. P? Does one keep their Lions news pragmatic? And it's very simple. It's very easy. I'm glad you asked. I will let you know right now. Smash the like button. Subscribe to the channel. Share with your peoples. And once you've done those things, in any order, you have kept your Lions news pragmatic. And since sharing is caring, once you share this stream with your uncles, your cousins, your mothers, your fathers, your brothers, your sisters, your uncles, your cousins, your nephews, your nieces, your brothers, your fathers, your sisters, your cousins, your nephews, you name it, you have indeed cared about those people. All right, so Donkey Kong is back, and we are going to ban this user because I'm not even going to read what he has to say. What up, though, Brent the Wit? As I said, when Donkey Kong comes, Donkey Kong gets banned, and hopefully he leaves the channel. If you're subscribed to Motor City Cats, I don't know if you are, but I will be deleting you. So don't come to my channel. Don't come to my stream. You don't do anything but disrespect and cause problems. So it is what it is. You did it. I don't know if you like me. I don't care if you like me. I don't want you to like me. I want you to go away. So do that. What up, though, Pierce Sargent? All right. So we're gonna cut a little promo today. We're gonna cut just a little bit of a promo today because you know what it is. The Detroit Lions are the kings of the North. And there's a reason that the Detroit Lions are the kings of the North. It is because the lowly Packers lost to the Eagles last night. Now, I shouldn't have said that. What I should have said was, can anybody in the chat tell me? Anybody in the chat, let me know. Are the Packers still going undefeated? Because there's a certain player, a very Packersian player. He said that when he looked at their schedule after 2 weeks, after 2 games in the season, after 2 games, they beat the Lions, who were under the spell of Johnny Moe, and then they beat the Washington Commanders, who we've seen are not great, even with Jaden Daniels. The team is 3-7. Okay? They lost to the Chicago Bears early on. Okay? After beating these 2 teams, who clearly didn't have their fastball, Rasheed Walker looked at the schedule and said that they were going to go 17-0. And I just want to know, is that still on the table? Can anybody tell me if that is still on the table? So let's go ahead. Before we get into all of our Detroit Lions stuff, we're going to cut a little promo. And if you guys have watched Lion Syndicate, he does this a lot. I'm going to do it today. I've done it before. It's about the NFC North report because we're going to talk a little bit about the Packers and all that stuff. Now, while I'm cutting this promo, I'm not going to say anything to you because I'm going to clip that segment and put it out as a video after I cut the promo. After that's all done, after I say peace, then I'm going to come back to you guys. And anything y'all want to say about the Packers, anything y'all want to say about the Eagles, because the Eagles are indeed our next opponent, feel free, have at it. We're going to go ahead and get to it. What is up, though, Lions fans? And howdy, NFC North fans. How you guys doing? Hey, Packers fans, all the way up there in Wisconsin. I see you. I see you with your cheese head on. I see you in the back. This is the NFC North report, week number. What is this? Is this week? What was that? It's week 10, right? Yeah, week 10. Week number 10. NFC North report. Green Bay Packers edition. Anybody want to tell me if the Green Bay Packers are still going undefeated? I don't know, because I was told after 2 weeks that 17-0 was loading. I was told by one Rasheed Walker in front of the media, in front of the world, at his locker, that the Green Bay Packers were going to go 17-0 undefeated because he didn't see any losses on the schedule. He said, I put my finger, win, dub. All we do is win, no matter what. Every time we walk, we 5-3-1. We 5-3-1 should be 5-4. It's if not for the immaturity, if not for the lack of discipline that the Dallas Cowboys showed, that was a loss. It turned out to be a tie because Green Bay Packers fans, players, I just got to tell you something. This is an update. Breaking news. You're not that good. You're not that good. The Micah Parsons trade, kudos to you. All this talk about Jordan Love being 27, so he's got to get his Super Bowl because Aaron Rodgers was 27 when he got his Super Bowl, because Brett Favre was 27 when he got his Super Bowl, because Bart Starr, they had to go all the way back to Bart Starr, was 27 when he got his Super Bowl. Because, and then all the glazing. Okay, all the glazing of Jordan Love. And I told y'all before, I told y'all he wasn't that guy. All the back foot, all the fadeaways, all of that stuff that y'all been glazing him about. Oh, Chris Collinsworth was glazing that, man. He had them all in his mouth. Pause. He had all of that going on. And y'all sitting at 5-3-1 should be 5-4. Now, is 5-3-1 a bad record? It's not. It's not a bad record. Could you still make the playoffs? You could, but that's the question today, Packers fans. That's the question today, fellow NFC North fans. A lot of people are asking, will the Packers even make the playoffs? No, I'm not going to go that far. I'm not going to go as far as say that the Packers are trash and they're not going to make the playoffs. But I just want to know if 17-0 is still possible, because Rasheed Walker needs an answer, okay? Or maybe he needs to answer for his sins. See, you don't stand in front of the media and tell people you're going undefeated 2 weeks into the season. Bruh, you better be 16-0 before you say you're going to go undefeated, okay? And if you're 16-0, still don't say that you're going undefeated, because you could be facing an 0-16 team, and because you said you were going to go undefeated, they're going to feel some type of way and beat y'all to go 1-16, and y'all go 16-1. Listen, bro, this is just from a guy. Now, you guys will never be in this position, but from a guy who was in this position a year ago, when we went 15-2, there was a team called the Buffalo Bills. And they were tired of hearing about all the talk. The Detroit Lions had only lost one game all season, and that was in week number 2. And were they going to lose another game? And they may finish 16-1, and all the stuff that was happening from within the media. It wasn't even happening from within the Detroit Lions locker room. The Detroit Lions locker room has the culture to not have dumbasses come out and say, we're going to go 0 or we're going to go 17-0. We have that culture. We didn't even say nothing. It was the media that fanned the flames, that stoked the fire for the Buffalo Bills to come out and punch us in the mouth, because they had so much more energy. They had so much more oomph for that game, because it was like their damn Super Bowl, because they wanted to show everybody that they had arrived by beating, wait for it, the Detroit Lions. That's what happens when you're a team that only loses 2 games all season. The Buffalo Bills were our second loss of the season, because they just was tired of hearing all the talk. And you did the talking week number 2, dumbass. Anyway, let's go ahead and get to this game. The Philadelphia Eagles toppled the vaunted Green Bay Packers by a whopping score of 10-7. 10-7. Now, some people enjoyed this game. Some people did not join this game. I'm going to tell you something. It's not a secret. Last drive of the game, I fell asleep. Last drive of the game, I fell asleep. Okay, I woke up and had to go to the news. I had to go to the internet to see who had won the game. Okay, last drive of the game, fell asleep. Okay, now in the box score, we have 0-0-3. Okay, in the first half, that's right. It was the first time since what? 2009, especially on Monday Night Football, that there was a scoreless half. And I think it was the first time since 2021 that there was a game in the NFL in which neither team scored in the first half, right? It was a defensive slobber knocker. Now, the Philadelphia Eagles broke the seal in quarter number 3 with a whopping 3 points. That's it. Through 3 quarters, there were 3 points on the board. Both of the teams scored 7 points, 1 touchdown in the fourth quarter, and that was the difference. That 3 points that was scored in quarter number 3. All right. If this game had gone to overtime, I don't know what would have happened. I probably would have slept longer. I probably would have had a longer nap. Now let's see what we got here. The game leaders, Jordan Love, 20 of 36 for 176 yards. No touchdowns. You know who got the touchdown? Josh Jacobs. I'm gonna tell you what. I'm tired of Josh Jacobs scoring touchdowns every game. Stop it, Josh Jacobs. Just when you thought it was over, we did it again. Just when you thought the man wasn't going to get into the end zone, he got into the damn end zone. It's like, damn, every game, bro. Every game you got to score a touchdown, lay off. Josh Jacobs. Josh Jacobs is a good player. I can't lie. I can't front. Jordan Love. He's again, I just not that guy. Just watch him. Okay, this is another situation in which we see ball. Ball seer sees ball, doesn't see Patrick Mahomes' light in Jordan Love. That's all. He can be a decent quarterback. Hey, he's not a Hall of Famer. He's not Brett Favre. He's not Aaron Rodgers. Okay. He's not Bart Starr. He's not any of these guys. He's a Packers quarterback. He doesn't suck. You know, they got another good quarterback. He's decent. Yeah, he's not a world beater. It's okay. He can be right? Okay. You can be in this day and age. Jalen Hurts, he's He was 15 of 26 for 183 yards and a touchdown. He completed 15 passes. Jordan Love completed 20. But Jordan Love threw 10 more passes than Jalen Hurts did. Okay? Josh Jacobs, 21 carries, 74 yards. Respectable, decent, right? Good. So, this is decent. Okay. And a touchdown. Saquon Barkley, 22 carries, 60 yards. No touchdowns. Like, Josh Jacobs outplayed Saquon Barkley. Okay. Receiving. Christian Watson, 2 receptions for 45 yards. Devontae Smith, 4 receptions for 69 yards and a touchdown. And that's what matters. He scored a touchdown. Okay? Now, let's get into some of the team stats. All right? Total yards went the Eagles' way, 294, 261. Passing yards, Eagles' way, 183 to 157. Rushing yards, Eagles' way, 111 to 104. Yards per play, Eagles' way, 4.9, 4.0. First down, Packers' way, 18 to 13. Third down efficiency, Eagles' way, It was pretty close. 7 of 16 for the Eagles, 5 of 13 for the Packers. Fourth down efficiency, Packers way, 1 of 3. And Eagles 0 of 2. Eagles 0 of 2 on fourth down. The vaunted tush push. The vaunted tush push merchants. Okay. All right. Total plays 66. Packers 60 for the Eagles. Sacks allowed. Packers allowed 3 sacks. Where was Micah Parsons? Yes, listen to what I said. Packers allowed 3 sacks. Jordan Love was sacked 3 times. This is a team at the trade deadline who picked up Jalen Phillips, who is nowhere near supposedly the player of Micah Parsons. This is a team in the Green Bay Packers who picked up Micah Parsons for what? 2 firsts and a player? Or was it 3 firsts? I think it was 2 firsts, right? 2 firsts, 3 firsts. I think it's 2. 2 firsts and a player. Where was Micah Parsons when they needed him? In the Eagles game. Prime time, Monday Night Football. Where was Micah Parsons? Micah Parsons, where are you? Where are you? A.A. Ron? You heard me calling your name, didn't you? Okay. Jordan Love sacked 3 times. Jalen Hurts sacked no times. Punts, 5 and 5. Okay, there wasn't a whole lot of offense. We know that. There wasn't a whole lot of offense. There wasn't a whole lot of scoring at all. So 5 punts to 5 punts. Penalties. Green Bay Packers, 4 for 20 yards. Eagles, 7 for 61. Fumbles lost. Green Bay Packers lost 2 fumbles. Eagles lost 1. Interceptions thrown. Ding, 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 ding. 0 and 0. Jordan Love, congratulations. You did not throw an interception. Time of possession goes the Eagles' way, 32 and 5 seconds to 27 and 55 seconds. All right. Look, y'all saw the game. Y'all saw the ineptitude of the Green Bay Packers offense. Was it just a stumble? Or can we go back to the fact that they tied with the Dallas Cowboys, who only tied them because they were very, very disjointed. They were very, very, very undisciplined. Undisciplined is the biggest reason why the Dallas Cowboys tied with the Green Bay Packers. Biggest reason. Because just a little bit of discipline. Just stop giving them first downs off of penalties. Sometimes, damn, that would have been a Cowboys win, Cowboys win, Cowboys win. My Detroit Tigers fans know what I'm doing. They lost to the Browns. They lost to the Cleveland Browns. Okay? Cleveland Browns, what, won 1 or 2 games? 2 games? 2, I think. Didn't they beat the Dolphins? Right? Okay. They struggled. They struggled mightily in the first half with the Cincinnati Bengals. Okay. They struggled with the Arizona Cardinals. Struggling. Okay. Losing to the Eagles is not, it's not shameful. They're the defending Super Bowl champions. Okay. Who else did the Packers lose to, though? They lost to the Panthers. Now, the Panthers then went on to lose to the Saints. Now, I'm not going to say too much about the Panthers losing to the Saints because the Panthers are becoming a good team. They're getting better. They're learning how to win. And number 2, the Saints, while bad, are a divisional opponent. And as I've said many times, you can't sleep on opponents within your division. You just can't do it. That's why I don't like to pick blowouts within the division. I did it against the Vikings, and I had to eat the crow. Okay? They lost to the Panthers at home in Lambeau with a spread that called for them to be 14-point favorites. That's the most concerning part there. And then they dropped another game at home. The Eagles came on the road and held them to 7 points in their own house. 7 points in which they scored in the fourth quarter. They went 3 entire quarters without scoring a damn thing. Not a damn thing. And now the vaunted Super Bowl winning Green Bay Packers, because they were supposed to win the Super Bowl this year, according to Mina Kimes and all of these people. They sit at number 3 in the NFC North, below the Bears. Who'da thunk it? Who'da thunk it? Not me. Not below the Bears. I mean, I knew that eventually they'd be below the Lions, but below the Bears? With Osama bin Johnson at the helm? Caleb Williams? That team? Oh boy. We'll see what happens. Keep your eye on those Green Bay Packers. Will they bounce back or will they continue to spiral? All right? Will they continue? They've lost 2 in a row now. Something the Lions haven't done in 3 years. I'm just saying. That has been the NFC North Report Green Bay Packers edition for week number 10. Let me know what you feel in the comments below. If you think I've been a homer, let me know. If you think that I shot you straight, let me know. If you agree with anything, let me know. If you disagree, let me know. Unless your name is Donkey Kong. All right. Once again, the Motor City Cats are indeed back at it. We came to give you stats, not none of that static. Whatever you do, make sure you keep your NFC North news pragmatic. And we are out. Peace. All right, y'all, I'm back. Welcome to New York, York. I'm back. Welcome to New York. Okay. Let me see what your comments have said, and I'll get to all of them, and then we will get into what we got to get into. Said, I'm going to keep it a buck. If Dan was calling plays week 1, do we win? I think so. I think so. Independent Aquaman says, of course, the Lions are the Kings of the North. They won that last season, and Kings only lose their position once pushed out or with snow off, even if the Lions had lost all their games this season. Yeah, it's just kind of a title of the show. Yeah, it's we do shows every day, so we just gotta have titles, They still be Kings of the North until after the last regular season game. I know how it works. Of course, the Packers are going undefeated. They scored 7 points last night. With Dan calling plays, I'm more at peace about next week in a good way. Facts. FYI, Lions Nation Unite. Make shorts about this full vid because YT no longer pays you streamers much for full vids. They now pay most for the shorts. Well, I appreciate that. And now they have they have 2 layouts. So I am in full screen here, and right over here I'm in vertical, right? So I'm in horizontal here, landscape. I'm in portrait over here. So that's going to make it easier for the shorts as well. This is the first time I've done it. This is the first day they've offered it. Well, they offered it yesterday after my show. So we'll see what happens. Pierce, no, unless Ragnow starts. What up, though, Tactical Sport? It's a genuine question, though. If Dan was doing this all along, I'd say 7-2 at worst right now. At worst, I'd say 8-1. Because I think the only game where we didn't play well enough just by not playing well enough, and you couldn't really make any excuses for anything else, was the Chiefs game. Yes, there was a lot of cheating going on, but the Lions didn't do enough to score enough points. And that's pretty much what it was. So I would say realistically 8-1. Which doofus said the Packers would win all 17 games this season? That's one Rasheed Walker. Yeah, I'm sure we win that game against the Vikings if Dan is calling the plays. Well, if Don is calling the plays, we might have won it too. I'm just saying. Cats, Packers fans are schizophrenics. Uh, Love is winning what? I don't know what Love is winning. Not sure about the Packers or KC. Um, I think so. We said there was miscommunication and things of this nature on the offensive line, and that seems to be a Johnny Mo thing. So I don't know. Yep, Micah did barely play week 1. Hot take: if the Bears keep playing the way that they are, the Packers won't make the playoffs. Uh See, that is a hot take because with the Bears, just like if we look at last game, Brian Daboll got fired for that game. Brian Daboll got fired. They had the Bears where they wanted them. They were who they thought they were, and they let them off the hook. Um, so yeah, I, the Bears have to play who's in front of them. The Bears have to beat who's in front of them or lose to who's in front of them. And that's all we can give them. And they have played much better than we thought that they would play. And we wondered if Osama bin Johnson was a leader of men. He seems to be a leader of men. Um, the coaching classes that Dan Campbell gave him have paid off. Um, if the Bears finish second place in the NFC North, then they'll be dealing with a much tougher schedule next year. So we'll have to see. There's still for all the things that Caleb Williams does well. When the lights shine the brightest and the games mean the most, is he going to sink or swim? If the light is shining the brightest, let's say playoffs, is his hero ball going to lose them game or win the game? If it comes down to you trying to sack him in the backfield, I've given up on that this year. Last year, he got sacked he was the most sacked quarterback in the league. This year, it's like no one can get him on the ground. It's freaking ridiculous. It's gross because it's gross to watch. When you watch Caleb Williams run, it looks gross. It's unathletic. I compare it to LeBum's game. Like when you watch that man play basketball, it's gross. It's disgusting. It's not enjoyable to watch. Right? It looks awkward. It doesn't flow. It's not like Jordan. It's not like Lamar. It doesn't look good. He looks very unathletic. He carries the ball awkwardly. He runs awkwardly. His body and mind don't look like they're doing the same thing, but it works for him. It's gross, but it works. And it's just because it's so gross that I want it to not work. You understand what I'm saying? Like if it looked good and if it was pretty, I'd be like, dang, you got to give it to Caleb. You know what I'm saying? Caleb is like, you know, Caleb out there doing his thing, but it just looks so gross. It's offensive to my eye. And I'm a ball seer, so I see with my eyes. And when I'm looking at this man, I'm offended through my eyes. My eyes complain to me whenever I allow them to gaze upon Caleb Williams. And they're like, what are you doing, bro? We don't want to see this. And I'm like, well, you got to see it because I got to do an NFC North Report Bears edition. I got to know what's going on within my division. So it's gross. But shout out to Caleb, man. He's doing his thing this year. We'll see how long they can keep it up. The Bears have a historically bad schedule, so you might be right. And shout out to Caleb Williams again because he's going to be the first quarterback ever in the history of Bearsdom to throw for 4,000 yards. Congratulations. The forward pass has finally reached Chicago. Clap it up. All right. The forward pass has finally reached Chicago. You guys should be ecstatic. Over the moon, I say. OMG, it was scoreless at the half, 0-0. I'm not sure where you're going. So, dude, what's up, Zach J? The Bears not worried. They're going to finish 2-6. I don't know if they finished 2-6, but we'll see. Be bottom dwellers. I puked a little bit. They're complimenting the Bears. I know it's gross, right? Just do up a little bit in your mouth. So dude, okay, so Zach J. I got you, bro. The Eagles at the end tried their best to give the Packers that game, and the Packers couldn't take it. Meat Packers are behind the Bears and Lions. Okay, I got where you are, Duncan. Okay. Dart got injured. Mr. Rudy III, I know Dart got injured, but Dayball got fired. So they look, that team would not play for Russell Wilson. I don't know if that was a Dayball thing. I just know Dayball got fired. They started out 2-8. What up, though, Jody Carruthers? Okay, so we finally got caught up. Now let's talk Lions, baby. Let's talk Lions, baby. So the Detroit Lions, Amon-Ra St. Brown. What's happening? A lot of people want Amon-Ra St. Brown suspended, even Detroit Lions fans. I don't know why you would want him suspended. So there was this big hoopla on Twitter. If you didn't know, there's a lot of people that aren't on Twitter. They're not in those mean streets. There was a big hoopla on Twitter. Javon Kinlaw was asked after the game about the Daron Payne situation in which he punched Amon-Ra St. Brown in the face. Well, in the helmet face. Not directly in the bare face. In the helmeted face. Javon Kinlaw said that Amon-Ra St. Brown punched him first. Now, in my defense, I thought it was 100% BS. Because if you watch the video, Javon Kinlaw looks like he's lying. He looks like he is lying a lot. He looks like a man who was caught red-handed in the kitchen and he did this Shaggy. It wasn't me. And she was like, but I sent you, I see you right now. It wasn't me. That's but Shaggy was very, nonchalant, and he was very like, your eyes are not seeing what you believe that they're seeing. Your eyes are playing tricks on you. Damn, homie. My mind's playing tricks on me. Dun, 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 dun. That's how Shaggy was doing. Javon Kinlaw was like, oh, yeah, 100%. 100%. Yeah. I'm like, wow, you're lying. You're lying. And you're terrible at lying. You're a very, very bad liar. So video surfaces. And Amon-Ra caught him with a 2-piece and a biscuit first. Okay? He caught him with a 2-piece and a biscuit first. Here's the thing, though. Amon-Ra is half the size of Daron Payne. And if that doesn't excuse anything, but the referee was standing right there when Amon-Ra St. Brown did what he did. And he didn't deem it even enough to throw a flag. Now, what I think could happen is because of the hoopla, because of the uproar, Amon-Ra may get retroactively fined. Right? The NFL may look at the situation, go back, review the tape, and retroactively fine him for his role in that. To suspend Amon-Ra St. Brown for one of the biggest Sunday night football games on the slate this season, after they already lost Jaden Daniels for the game of the week last week, between the Detroit Lions and the Washington Commanders. The ratings weren't what they should have been, right? The ratings weren't what they would have been had it been Jaden Daniels back against the Lions. And let's talk about that for a second. Evening all. King SJ, what up though? As I said, let's talk about that for a second. We need to put this to bed. That the Detroit Lions lost to the Washington Commanders in the divisional round last season because of all of the injuries. It is a very simple thing, and I'm not going to place blame on anyone. I'm just going to give you a number. One team. If I tell you, it doesn't matter about the health. Let's say that every single person on the original 53-man roster for the Washington Commanders was healthy, and every person on the original 53-man roster for the Detroit Lions was healthy. If I tell you that one team in this game will turn it over 5 times, the other team in this game will turn it over 0 times, which team are you picking to win that game? If you pick the team that turns it over 5 times to win, you haven't been watching football the last 100 years. Now, I don't think any of you have been watching football the last 100 years because hopefully, I mean, I can't say hopefully, but I'm sure you weren't alive when the NFL started. In 100 years, this has happened 2 or 3 times that a team has turned the ball over 5 times and trailed by 16 or less points and has come back to win the game. The Detroit Lions were one of those teams against the Houston Texans, but look at the Houston Texans. If you were going to pick the Detroit Lions as the team that turned the ball over 5 times and won in the playoffs while not generating a single turnover themselves, you are lying to yourself. And just admit that you are lying to yourself, and we can move on. Losing to the Washington Commanders last season in the divisional round had nothing to do with injuries, because while we turned the ball over 5 times and didn't generate a single turnover ourselves, the Washington Commanders beat us by 14 points, 2 touchdowns, 5 turnovers to 0, and they only were able to beat us by 2 touchdowns. Without the turnovers, the Detroit Lions mollywop the Washington Commanders. Now, would they have gone on to the NFC Championship game and beat the Philadelphia Eagles with all those injuries? Maybe not. The Washington Commanders had nothing to do with the injuries. We lost Amik Robertson in the first quarter and still lost by 14 points. Stop the narrative that it was the injuries. We turned the goddamn ball over 5 times, and we did not generate a single turnover on our side. It wasn't the injuries. It was the turnovers. 5 turnovers to 0 turnovers should get you blown out. It got us a 2-score defeat. Stop it. Please. I'm tired of turning into shows. I'm tired of hearing people talk about how it was the injuries last year that no, it had nothing to do with injuries. With the freaking, it wasn't Jaden Daniels' day. It wasn't, oh, they were too good to stop. We lost because we turned the ball over 5 times. And when we were coming back, our offensive coordinator called the dumbest play in the history of his play calls, which led to turnover number 5. Even with 4 turnovers, we still had an opportunity to win the game. I don't want to hear about the injuries because the 5th turnover came in the 4th quarter. Okay, I'm done. I'm done. All right. Do we have a video of this 2-piece in a biscuit? There is a video. I saw the video. It's probably on Twitter. I don't have it on hand. I seen the tape and sure St. Brown threw at best a slap. However, I don't know how much contact it made and how much acting was involved on Payne's part. A fine at best. Right. So a slap is an open hand. Okay. And this is the same reason that people are like, oh, well, Teair Tart, he hit Travis Kelce and he didn't get suspended. It was in the field of play. Okay. And Brian Branch got suspended because he incited a brawl after the game. That's they're 2 different situations. So a slap is generally not going to get you suspended. It's not going to get you ejected. It'll get you flagged and fined. It's a slap. Daron Payne closed his hand and as a man was walking by unsuspecting, hooked off on him. That's why he got suspended. It's different. It's very different. It doesn't really sound like St. Brown, but I guess if it isn't in a legit video, then okay. If it's in a legit video, then okay. Guess he did it. Right? It wasn't, like I said, it wasn't anything egregious. But he did say that they had got into they had exchanged words prior to the situation. So F it, come and get us. We getting that chip. One life, one chance. Are you a Lions fan? Oh, I hope. Yeah. Okay. I don't know. You gotta say what up though or something. Like you gotta speak the code because I never seen you before. But I'm glad you're here. I just had to get the Commanders thing because it's not I had to get it off my chest. I've been saying it, and I keep to yesterday. Well, I'm sorry, this morning. This morning, I heard this crap again. And anytime we play the Commanders, which we shouldn't play them again for another 4 years. I understand why we played them this year because of the playoff situation, which will not be the case this year because there's no way in hell the Commanders are making the playoffs. Playoffs? Don't talk about playoffs. Okay, that's them this season. Okay, so it as a ball seer, it's frustrating to me. Okay, it's just frustrating to me. Fan says 88. Okay, what up though? All right, it's just frustrating. I can't it's just like living in bizarro world when you're looking at me and you're telling me my glasses are pink and they're clearly blue, right? So yo, that's a nice white hoodie you're wearing. No, the hell, it's not a white hoodie. What are you talking about? It's not. It's black. What do it's just like it's clear as day for me. I see these things. All right. So Amon-Ra St. Brown should not be suspended. If they want to do anything, it should just be a fine and we should move on. How do you guys feel about the Eagles after last night's game? I will say this. The best thing about the Packers is their defense. I did not want to believe they had a good defense. They're doing this stuff with Carrington Valentine, who looks exactly like Justin Fields. Okay. I think he and Justin Fields were separated at birth. I think they're twins. Or they could just be ghetto twins. Shout out if you know what a ghetto twin is. Keyshawn Nixon, who last year was just a punt returner. They've never had, even when they had Jair Alexander, he couldn't stay healthy and they couldn't find a corner on the opposite side of him. and now they've got these two no-name guys who are out here balling. It upsets me. It's annoying. Um, Xavier McKinney, though a biatch, very good safety. And then they got the kid from Oregon. What's his name? I almost said Evan Turner. And the image of Evan Turner just flashed. Y'all remember Evan Turner? What's that dude's name? Something, right? He missed one of the games last year against us, and then he got obliterated in the game that he did play. Will, what's his name? Anybody know his name? Anybody want to tell me his name? I don't know that boy name. Anyway, and we know they got Micah Parsons, they got Rashawn Gary. Quay Walker is a crash out who's a closeted Lions fan because he's always giving us 15-yard penalties to help us win. But he's good. Edgerrin Cooper is good. They've got a good defense. Their offense, though, with Jordan Love at the helm. Okay. Now, does anybody want to tell me? I did say they had 2 fumbles last night. Who fumbled? Quick trivia. Does anybody know who fumbled? So their offense, this is the problem when you don't have now Amon Ra for some reason has gotten a case of the dropsies this season. But this is the problem when you don't have any number 1 wide receivers. You just got 4 twos. Romeo Dobbs, who usually has big games, was dropping passes last night. Christian Watson, who they're working back into it. Yeah, he had 2 receptions. He's definitely a deep threat guy. But if you're only using him as a deep threat, you got old fadeaway thrower throwing into triple coverage, Jordan Love down there, so that's always going to be an adventure when those guys hook up. It's always going to be an adventure. It's choose your own adventure. So their offense was looking shaky, baby. Their offense was looking shaky. So I compliment their defense to say, yes, you did hold Saquon Barkley to 60 yards, 66 yards, whatever it was, 60 yards on 22 carries. Saquon looks like he looked in New York this year. He's not explosive this year. I don't know if it was, because of some changes on the offensive line in Philly, but he just doesn't look like what he looked like last year. Maybe he's not as hungry now because he's got a Super Bowl ring. Who knows? It happens to players. And sometimes players know it, and sometimes players can't identify it. It's just the desire is not burning as hot anymore. I don't know if that's it, but that's just a theory I'm throwing out there. You got the AJ Brown situation. AJ Brown was he averaging like 10 yards per game over the last 3 games? It's awful. Devontae Smith is going to be your deep threat. Hopefully Kirby is back this game. Would love for Kirby to be back this game. That way you can throw it deep if you want to. But when you see this, when you see Slim Pickens back there, when you see Slim Pickens back there, you've been warned. And we've done a good job neutralizing the running the mobile quarterbacks this year. So the Packers were able to do it. Hold them to 10 points. I don't think we're gonna hold them to 10 points just because they're at home. And I know the Packers got held to 7 points and lost at home, but I think Philadelphia is a better team than the Green Bay Packers. So if the Packers can do it, we can too. That's my thing. All right, let me get to your comments. Javon Kinlaw is appealing with his lawyer, Juju Smith and Sons. Totally not worried about the Eagles. They are going to have to score a hell of a lot more points than 10 to beat us. That is facts. Evan Williams. Okay. Evan Williams. All right, there we go. No, not Evan Love. Evan Williams. What's the Love thing that we're doing now? Oh, Love fumbled. Okay. Yeah. That was my point, right? Love and kick returner fumble. Okay. So he didn't throw an interception, but he fumbled. Still attributed to turnovers. That's what they got. They got 4 twos. They don't have a number one. I need to see Kirby back on the field, especially when we play the Steelers and the Packers. Oh yeah. I'm picking up what you're putting down. I mean, when running backs start to decline, they decline quickly. It's just the nature of the position. I don't know if it's a decline. Like Saquon Barkley looked like this in New York. This is why I was never high on Saquon. Because Saquon would, I mean, I know it was part of it was because New York had terrible offensive lines when he was there. But he would be averaging 2 yards per carry into the fourth quarter, and then he would break off an 80-yard run. And then now it's like, oh, he averaged 5 yards to carry this game. Right? But the entire first 3 quarters, he was 2 yards in a cloud of dust, not even 3. So that's what I'm saying. Like, he was consistently picking up chunks. He led the league, I think, in touchdowns last season with, I believe, 8, and where he wasn't touched in the first 10 yards. That shows you the holes that he was running through last season. He's not doing that this season. He doesn't have those holes. Imagine if you couldn't touch Jahmyr Gibbs for 10 yards. Do you know where he would be? In the end zone every time. Like, if you couldn't touch Jahmyr Gibbs for 10 yards, you're not going to be able to touch him in the next however many that he's got to go. Right? If you didn't touch him in the first 10, you're not going to touch him in the next 1 to make it an 11-yard touchdown. If you didn't touch him in the first 10, you're not going to touch him in the next 62 to make it a 72-yard touchdown. That's just the way that Jahmyr Gibbs operates. You know? So I don't know if it's a decline or is this he's having a bad season. He's not getting the same type of blocking. I don't know. What up, though, Lauren Vander Esch? So look, I told you guys before. I said I thought the path for I said there was a path for the Detroit Lions to go 15-2. I said this at the beginning, or not at the beginning, in the offseason, when the schedule was released. I said I didn't think that they would go 15-2, but if we're saying there is a path, and the path included them losing to the Baltimore Ravens and the Philadelphia Eagles. The game plan that we had against the Baltimore Ravens is the same one that we need to have against the Philadelphia Eagles, because those two teams are built the same way. And that's why I thought we would lose to both of them. But the fact that we beat the Baltimore Ravens in their trap means we can go to Philadelphia and take over their trap and beat them as well. So I didn't have us losing to the Chiefs or any of the other people that we lost to. Okay? But if Dan Campbell is calling the plays, which he is, we know he's calling the plays in Philly. So it's not even an if. We know that Dan Campbell is going to be calling the plays in Philly. If he is able to get the same execution out of the offensive line, Philadelphia is going to be in trouble. and Philadelphia better get ready for a shootout, because if they're trying to bring their lunch pail and only score 10 points, it's going to be 42-10. I'm not comfortable picking blowouts. Okay, unless it's a really, really bad team that you should really, really blow out. Not even if that really, really bad team is in your division. And I'm not saying that it's going to be 42-10. I'm just saying if their offense isn't going to show up just the same way it didn't show up last night, and our offense does, it's going to be a long night for the Philadelphia Eagles. That's all I'm saying. Boobo. What is Boobo? I'm about to look that up. Is my page on Boobo? I've never been too high on Barkley or Henry. I know hot take. Henry for sure. Henry, because Henry has done it for a very long time. Henry is Bo Jackson-esque. And Bo was like my second favorite running back of all time. So I can tell you he's Bo Jackson-esque with confidence. We need this dub. I got a jersey bet going. If Lions win, I get a St. Brown jersey. We need the dub so that we can be first in the NFC. That's why we need the dub. Bossa Bala. Oh, okay. I got you. Shout out Kurt Steele. Really? You're joking, right? You are joking. After one game, he's stepping away from the Eagles. One game in which he didn't play. You're joking. You have to be joking. That can't be. This isn't real life. Why do people like Jaire Alexander continue to get chances? He's always injured. And now he's stepping away. He's a freaking head case. Why does he continue to get chances? I guess everyone thinks that they're going to get their CJ Gardner-Johnson, because CJ Gardner-Johnson is balling with the Bears. Again, we're in our grown man and woman stage, right? We're in our adult stage where we can give props where props are due. CJ Gardner-Johnson is directly affecting winning with the Chicago Bears. He's making plays. He's getting sacks. He's directly affecting wins since he's been there, the 2 or 3 games that he's been there. Jaire, there's just that one team that's like, wow, we can fix him. He's gonna be injury-free when he gets here. We're gonna fix that, man. Shout out Professor Steele on Veterans Day. Shout out. What up, though, Lamico Cardenas? The only one I'm really worried about is RB26, Barkley, and D+. See, I'm not worried about Barkley. That's what we were saying before. Like, Barkley is not, he's not doing it. Now, for whatever reason, so we need to get right. Our running defense needs to get right against this team. Because the last couple of weeks that we've been out there, no. We've given up 90+ the last 2 weeks. That's freaking crazy. Why is he stepping away? Stepping away to work on his mental and physical health. Okay. I mean, step away to better yourself and so that you can be ready to play. That great reason. With your history, do I want you on my team? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. But there's going to be a team. The Eagles will probably retain his rights. They'll probably hold on to him, especially if they allowed him to just step away and, But it's crazy. Continuation, our D-line being able to stop the run, not necessarily QB1 Jalen Hurts. I didn't see his rushing numbers from yesterday. Were they great? Speaking of dudes who keep getting chances, what team is CJ GJ on now? The Bears. That's what I just said. He's directly contributing to winning on the Bears. Asante Jr. went to the Steelers. Okay. Um, also need to see McNeil get going. Yeah. I guess he provided a shot in the arm of energy when he got here the first game, but he's been relatively quiet. I think was it Roy Lopez and Tyron Tyus Lacey. Is it Tyus or Ty? What that boy's name? Is it Tyus? Tyron? Okay. So we got Tyrus the virus, Tyrus Wheat. So and we got, I think it's Tyus Lacey, right? So Tyus Lacey and Roy Lopez are the only guys on the interior to get credit for sacks. I think Tyus Lacey has one sack full. Pause. And and Roy Lopez has a half a sack. So we need to get McNeil going. Hurts got 27 yards rushing yesterday. You know, I'm not 27. Come on. Tyleek has been benched. I saw why was Tyleek benched? Listen. Okay. I'm just I'm thinking to myself here because I wanted Jihad Campbell, but I think our linebackers. I don't know where necessarily Jihad Campbell fits in this situation. I mean, you'd force him on the field, so maybe not Jihad Campbell. Maybe an offensive lineman instead of Tyleek. I'm just saying. I don't have any prior NFL love for him because of where he spent his time. He makes bad decisions in life over there at Ohio State. But an offensive lineman, probably better pick. Tackle, guard. I mean, we got a guard in the second round. Center, tackle, center. I mean, center, because you knew Graham Glasgow was going to need replacing. And instead of getting Tate Ratledge to transition from right guard to center, which maybe, okay, this is what Frank Ragnow did. Maybe you were trying to find your own Frank Ragnow, maybe, but you still got to next draft. You still got to get another right guard. If you're gonna move him to center, you still got to get another right guard. So I'm just saying, at least GZM. According to Dan, he's not playing better than Roy. Right, I've seen that in the last. I've seen Roy get a lot of run in the last few games. So one of Mike Green or my man's that went to Atlanta or a guy from San Francisco. Mike Green wasn't coming here. He's a little bit Pepe Le Pew, if you know what I'm saying. If you picking up what I'm putting down, Pepe Le Pew. You know what I'm saying? Sack the pack. What up, though? He says Dan Campbell is the man. You are 100% correct in that. I don't think we need Tyleek for this year. I think they got him to replace DJ Reader next year. And that might be Roy Lopez if we're talking about what we're talking about. If we're saying Roy is outplaying him, you know. Yeah, this is a little bit, Pep, Peppy. Hashtag if you know, you know. So I was watching Pepe Le Pew with my nephew, and I said, "See, watch this guy. He's funny." And we know how the rest of that went. Shout out if you know, you know. Chappelle. Okay. Uh all right. You know what we do on this show, boy. We flow, boy. But before we flow, boy, we check in on what you want to know, boy. And we go mailbag, mailbag. What you want to do? What you gonna do when they reading you? Mailbag, mailbag. Mailbag. Get your mailbag questions in. Get them in. Bask in it. uh, I love having depth. Um, we have depth on the interior. We sure do, and I don't think that's what we were worried about. I think we were worried about our depth on the exterior. Um, because El Qadim Muhammad didn't have the amount of snaps that you would expect for him to have either. Um, and we know I'm not sold on Tyrus the Virus at all. So I don't know, man. I don't know. All right. Mailbag, mailbag, mailbag. Green 80, green 80. Mailbag. If you just ask a question and put MB in front of it, that's all you got to do. Everybody does mailbags. Everybody does mailbags. All right, mailbag. I know we talked about this extensively yesterday, but we can't go back to Johnny Mo this year, right? No, no. Mm-mm. If anybody sees Johnny Mo near a call sheet, call 1-800 Crime Stoppers. If anybody, if you see this man near a call sheet in your neighborhood, call 1-800 Crime Stoppers today to make sure he's apprehended and the call sheet is removed or he's moved from the area, the vicinity of the call sheet. Um, One of Michael Williams from Georgia. Yep. All right, mailbag. I'll put the MB in front of it for you. Do do we think there's going to be any punishment passed down to St. Brown? So we talked about that earlier. We think it will just be a fine. Um, if there is any punishment, it'll just be a fine. I don't think one that it was a closed hand, and two that if if you were standing right in front of the referee and you did it and you didn't even get flagged, I don't think that there would be a severe punishment other than you just having to lose a little bit of change. Uh, Johnny Mo can start coming down from the box now and start handing players Gatorade bottles. But if he does that, then he won't be able to give Dan valuable insight into the passing game. So mailbag. So the O line is fixed, right? Deron Payne and Javon Kinlaw are good players. So we can't say that they were going against bums because Washington's defense is bad. If we can stem the tide, like it's fixed to a degree, but is it fixed enough for Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter? And that's what we'll see on Sunday night. I think the offensive line communicates better. They play better when they're playing for Dan Campbell as their play caller. I think Hank Fraley and Dan Campbell are more on the same page than Hank Fraley and Johnny Mo. In that sense, I'd say it's fixed. But I don't know for sure about the other side of the coin. So I don't know. Tenuously, I will say yes, but we're gonna come up against some stiff competition on Sunday, and I'll be able to give a more complete answer. That's what I'm gonna go with. So the Packers can still go undefeated, right? Absolutely, absolutely. In Wisconsin, going undefeated doesn't mean that you don't lose any games. It means something completely different. I don't know what it means, but I'm sure we'll find out at this end of the season what that means. Um, Miles Frazier, his clock has started. Will he be activated for this game? We shall see. I don't know. Melback, is the Pepe comment mean what I think it means as in light in the loafers? No, no. So Pepe wasn't light in the loafers. He was quite the opposite. He was very let's see, what can you say? Um uh you see, the female skunk was always trying to get away from him, and he was in hot pursuit. He didn't really know how to take no for an answer. If you're picking up what I'm putting down. Yeah, he was very forward and aggressive. That was the Pepe Le Pew comment. Can JMO still get 1,000 yards this season? Yes, very easily. We've got what does he have now? Like 500? 475, something like that. No, he would be at, yeah, he'd be like 490 or something. So yeah, easily. He could easily get 1,000 yards. Johnny Mo mess up when he publicly threw players under the bus. Facts. Big facts. Mailbag, who do you think is our biggest challenge to making the Super Bowl? It may just be a team in the NFC West, and I don't want to say the team. but I think the team right now resides in the NFC West. Um, we've owned them. I think that we will continue to own them if our offensive line and our offense is fixed. If our offensive line and our offense is fixed, I don't think there's a team that can beat us because our defense is much better. DJ Reed will be back. Terrion Arnold will be back. Terrion Arnold's probably going to play in this game. Generally, nowadays, a concussion is just the game that you go out of, and that's it. You don't really miss the next game. So, I If those two things are fixed, I don't think there's a whole lot of threats. But if I'm picking one team, it's got to be that team in NFC West. Yes. Yes, that's the one right there. Touchy feely, and the last one. You know what I mean? That's Pepe Le Pew, and that's apparently Mike Green. Um, twice in two different locations. Yes, it was a cat. My bad. My bad. It wasn't. It was definitely a cat. Yes, that's not the one I'm saying. Um, someone was pointing that out today that they haven't really beaten anybody. I mean, you played the schedule that you got, but who are they playing? They're playing somebody this week. I think they're playing the team I was actually talking about, and then we'll see what's up on that one. JMO has 474 this season. Okay, I was slightly off. Um, but he's still close to 500. So yeah, I think he easily could get a thousand. What up though, God Monkey? Yeah, it's the second one. It's the second one. Um, you think they'll murder the Hawks? I mean, again, it's a divisional game. So again, like that's why I always caution people. You play a team in your division, you have to take them seriously, whatever their record is, because they're in your division. You know what I mean? As I said, go back and watch the 0-16 Lions and watch how they were playing teams within the division. It wasn't just a bunch of blowouts. Even though they couldn't win them, they were close. They were in them until late. You know what I mean? So stuff like that. All right. We're gonna go ahead and stab out. Think it's gonna be a 2-score game? Okay, we'll see. We'll see. Um, I don't think so, just based off of the personnel for the teams and the way both teams have been playing. I think it'll be a good game. Um, and it's a divisional game. I'm saying you can't poo-poo the teams in your division. All right, we're gonna go ahead and stab out, y'all. I appreciate everybody for hanging out, stopping by for a drinking conversation. And of course, we had a drink, and of course, we had a conversation. It does not look too bad. Leonard Williams is balling. A lot is going on. So we'll have to see. But those are the two teams that you kind of worry about right now. We've beat the Bucks. Hopefully Sunday night we beat the Eagles. And then who else do you have to worry about in the NFC? You know what I mean? The Packers. Yeah, I think come Thanksgiving, I think we beat them. So not worried. Not worried. Seahawks are really good. We'll see. We'll see when they play the Rams because they haven't really played anybody. So, all right, y'all. Once again, as I said, appreciate y'all for coming through for a drink and conversation. We definitely did have a drink. Once again, the Motor City Cats are indeed back at it. We came to give you stats, not none of that static. Whatever you do, make sure you keep your Lions news pragmatic, and we will see you tomorrow. Peace.